If you clicked on this video, you're probably tired of seeing the same productivity tips over and over again. Like, you have to sleep well, or you have to put your phone away to perform better at work. In this video, I'm not going to talk about any of that. These are non-obvious tips that made all the difference in my life, and that I wish someone had told me 10 years ago so I wouldn't have wasted all that time trying to focus and procrastinating. Let's get started. The first thing that requires little effort and has many benefits is listening to 40 Hz binaural beats. What is that? There's a study in Nature showing that if you listen with headphones for 20 to 30 minutes to 40 Hz binaural beats, which I'll explain more about later, you'll see an improvement in your mood, focus, and some brain functions. Why does this happen? 40 Hz is a gamma brainwave frequency that is associated with a more alert, focused, even hyper-focused state. And when you listen to this frequency, it has to be with headphones. Why? The headphones, in order to generate binaural beats, you have to have binaural. So there are two different frequencies, one coming from each ear, canceling each other out in the internal auditory structure of the brain, generating 40 Hz. That's how it's effective. Without headphones, it's not as effective, okay? So listen to the frequency for 20 to 30 minutes. There are several other frequencies, right? There are also alpha frequencies, which can help with concentration, but here there is more evidence of 40 Hz binaural beats. The second tip. I wish you had told me a long time ago when I was studying for tests, etc., and had no idea about it. It's called the cathedral effect. There is a study showing that when you work in places with high ceilings, and this includes outdoor places, or in front of a window, you have more laterality of thoughts. What is that? It's more creativity. It's more ability to let your ideas flow. So if you're working with something creative that requires more new ideas, you want to innovate. It makes all the difference if you work in an open space. Of course, if you want something more analytical, it might be interesting to work in a closed space, okay? And then, if you work in front of a large body of water, like a lake or the sea, you have even more serotonin. There are studies showing that this is associated with higher levels of well-being. So, you can add this up, and then I'll get to the third tip, which is to work in front of a window or in a place with a lot of light coming in, because the more light that indirectly enters your eyes, you won't be looking directly at the light. You have more release of noradrenaline, which is a hormone that makes you more alert, okay? A region called the locus coeruleus of your brain releases more noradrenaline and makes you more alert. So have plenty of light, preferably natural, preferably from an open window, because the window blocks the frequency of blue light, okay? Which is the one from the sky, which is the one that signals to your body that it's daytime, and it's the one that makes you more alert. So I highly recommend working in open spaces with a view of a large body of water. If that's not possible, but facing a window, it will make a big difference. The fourth tip is to understand that your brain works in ultradian cycles. What is that? I'll show you an image of it in the video. But basically, your brain works in cycles of 1.5 hours, not only when you're sleeping, but also when you're awake. So I divide my work, reading, and study blocks into 1.5 hour blocks. What is the most effective? What do we have in the scientific literature today? When we work for an hour and a half, very focused, and rest for 20 minutes, you have more memory consolidation. You recharge your dopamine, giving you more motivation for the next work cycle. And how do you do that? What is the most effective rest? That's where people get it wrong a lot. They take their cell phones and rest, playing with them, thinking that they are relaxing, playing with them, watching vertical videos. But in fact, this is extremely stimulating. So the best way to rest is to close your eyes, go to a dark place and lie down, scanning your body, doing a meditation practice for 10 to 20 minutes. This is the most recommended. This is the gold standard, what we call non-sleep deep rest or yoga nidra. Fifth, very underrated tip. There is a nerve that runs through your neck and leaves your skull, called the vagus nerve. This nerve signals your body to calm down and relax. It is the nerve of the parasympathetic nervous system, of calm, relaxation, and digestion. So, when our neck is very stiff, the signaling of this nerve becomes less effective. So neck exercises, and what I like to do a lot every day, I recommend doing every day, are neck circles. Basically, you're gonna do a 360, gaining all this amplitude. It even cracked on both sides. I like to do 5 on each side when I wake up. I'm gonna take a quick break to show you something that I've found very interesting. It's an Opera e-browser. It's a conscious browser designed to bring calm and focus to your work and daily life. So in it, you'll find tools like neck exercises, like I just mentioned, meditation exercises, for relaxation between work sessions, breathing exercises and energizers to give you more alertness. You have all the binaural beats for you to adjust, integrated already. So you have both the 40 hertz, you have several different frequencies for you to choose from. You have all the artificial intelligences ready there without having to keep opening a new window. So it's very interesting. It's a browser, really. You find meditation resources, free and integrated, that help you stay productive and allow you to reduce your stress in your daily life without having to keep opening new windows. It's very interesting. I recommend checking it out. It's called Opera E. The penultimate tip is to keep your monitor at the height of your nose or higher. This makes all the difference in your alertness. We have a region called the Edinger-Westphal nuclei in our brain, and when your eyes are looking down, you have less alertness. You have less norepinephrine too. It's perhaps an evolutionary mechanism. So always keep your monitor at the height of your nose or higher. And the last tip, a lot of people ask, Rafa, do you use caffeine? The 7th tip is to use caffeine strategically. First, I don't recommend using it every day. So, it's easy to use it most days to implement a challenging habit because it really does have benefits, especially if used in the morning. I don't recommend using it at night because its half-life will take a while to leave your bloodstream. So I don't recommend using caffeine after 1 p.m., even after 3 p.m., but I do recommend using it strategically with a habit you want to implement. It's a very powerful tool. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We're together, more focus, less anxiety.